playoff spots, so the 1 seed is huge. True. Jesse says, down by 28. I have Connor. My opponent has Rondale. I had Kadarius last night thinking I was going to end up winning by a ton. I feel like I'm going to lose and I need a win. Yeah, that having Kadarius Toney last night definitely feels pretty yikes. Danny with the old Kadarius Toney going nuts pick of the week, and he dropped 0 points. You love to see it. You're muted, by the way.
Not my fault that Andy Reid doesn't play the guy.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I don't know if Kadarius Toney plays the guy.
Yeah. He was definitely not that guy.
We did not do well yesterday. The first week of the segment, the only hit was you calling the Cowboys -1.5 on the lock of the week.
That wasn't even close.
The Chiefs won the game, but they did not cover -5.5 on the spread. So I lost my lock. Jets money line. I mean, they got punt return touchdown on, and Zach Wilson couldn't complete a fucking pass. So I should have won that one for sure.
Bears lost by 3.
Yeah, Bears lost by 3, which is yikes also. Oh, it looks like you tallied these already.
Yep.
So, wow, pretty even across the board. Oh, no, I beat you also, 5-3.
It could be 5-4 depending on what Jimmy does.
What did Mariota do?
I believe 18 points.
Okay.
Yeah, you won off with Cordero over Pacheco because of the return touchdown. That's unreal.
Yeah, so this was the result. I got him Pittman over Wilson, Singletary over Wilson as well. I loved Wilson this week, but you took him in 2 bets. London, you got me over Thielen, which is wild because London had 1 catch, just happened to be a touchdown. Swift over Foreman. I can't believe Swift actually won something. Jamal Williams over Singletary. You kind of dusted me there. Amari Cooper over Olave. That would probably
both were sick.
Yeah, both were really.
Oh, side note: if Amari doesn't catch that touchdown with 1 minute left, Olave would have won that too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Amari caught a garbage time touchdown there, but overall not bad. We definitely I enjoy doing the segments. We just got to not be so dog shit at them. That would be helpful. My Colts also got trolled by James Droz, and honestly, I don't know if I'll ever recover. I don't really even know what that means.
James Droz. You don't know who James Droz is?
No.
Oh, he's a TikToker.
Oh, I don't watch TikTok.
So he's on TikTok, right? He's got Down syndrome. And anytime
Oh, right. He's the what happened guy.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Anytime somebody loses.
Yeah,
he'll be
what
like
happened?
Indianapolis Colts. What happened?
Yeah, it's classic. It's classic for sure. What was I gonna say? Oh, who's our bet? Is it Mike White or is it Joe Flacco who's taking over?
Should be Mike White.
Why should it be though?
Because at least he's young.
I guess, but I think Flacco is the better player.
I mean, off of last year, Mike White played better than what Flacco was doing earlier in the season.
Okay, so is it at all possible? I know Zach Wilson probably isn't good. I'm acknowledging that. I'm acknowledging it. I'm admitting defeat. Zach Wilson probably not a good quarterback.
I got there 6 weeks ago, and I was still holding out hope, but no, fuck that.
But I mean, man, he's extra bad against the Patriots. When he plays the Patriots, man, he is extra bad. The other thing though is they've won every game in spite of him anyway, so it's not like he's been good all season, but man, he's been aggressively bad against the Patriots. Nate's drop a like, gentlemen. Appreciate it. What up, fellas? What's going on, Pionio? Hey, how's it going? What up? Okay, Bush, we done with Swift now? Ugh, man. I don't know. I honestly have no idea, man. I have no idea what to do with Swift. I think if you got Swift, you just got to ride him out. Thankfully, the league I traded for Swift in, it was a Hail Mary swing, right? Like I said, it's either going to work out big or I'm going to lose. And I was probably going to lose if I didn't make that move anyway. So, I'm just gonna ride it out with him. It's the only league I have him in, so I'm just chilling. But yeah, Swift. I don't really know what they're doing with him, man. I think he just can't be healthy. That's the only explanation for it. So the injury report's basically a fugaz. Need Kittle to score 8 in 1 point tight end premium and CMC to score 21 in PPR. I would say 8 and 1 point tight end premium is pretty easy, but CMC, I mean, that's probably about his projection. Smitty didn't go nuts either. Bush, no, he didn't. He had he had a good game. He had 90 yards and on 6 catches or whatever, but he didn't did not have a massive game, and you guys were only willing to give me a 1-pointer for that one. Ridiculous. Leonardo, today's video was so good, Bush. I appreciate it. If you guys haven't checked it out, you guys got Dynasty rookie picks this year. I highly suggest you do, because I pretty much went through everybody relevant, like that, like probably 3 rounds worth of like rookie players, how their season's going, how the positional landscapes are kind of shaping up, what position is deep, what position has question marks behind it, some kind of tier breaks in between. And kind of, I spent a lot of time breaking down, how the quarterback 3 race is going, and, what else is happening at quarterback, and who's the RB2 in the class, and the tier 2 running backs, how are they kind of progressing? So a lot of information in that one. It took me a fucking long time to do that video. I'm not going to lie. I spent pretty much all of the Chiefs Chargers game collecting data for that, and then most of this morning kind of making the sheet for it. So that one took me a while, if you want to check it out. Best Week 12 defense. I mean, you're way ahead of me right now, Franklin. Tampa versus Cleveland, or Seattle versus Las Vegas. I mean, I appreciate you putting the matchups in at least. Tampa's the better defense out of Seattle and Tampa. Yeah. Las Vegas is probably the more hopeless offense, though. I don't know, man. I think I would probably go Tampa versus Cleveland.
I'd probably agree with that. You can hear me, right?
Yeah, I got you. Would you do Pierce for Pollard straight up? I probably wouldn't in redraft. I would rather have Pierce.
That's fucking close at this point, man.
It is. I think Pollard, this is the last week of Pollard being like the workhorse back, though. Like, I think it's probably still going to be close to a 50-50 split, and Pollard's still going to be definitely more valuable than Elliott is, but Pierce is like a workhorse running back. He gets like all the work.
Yeah, but if Pollard's going to be the majority back on Dallas, I think I would take that over the lead back
fair.
on.
Yeah, it's probably pretty close. I would still take Pierce slightly, but it's a conversation for sure.
So a trade just went down in one of my home leagues, dude. So somebody had Kyler Murray in their quarterback spot tonight, right?
Right.
And somebody else in the league, not even in his opponent, picked up Colt McCoy, and then just traded him Colt McCoy for $60 fab just to finesse him.
Okay.
Also, did you see the trade that I made in my home league? I sent it to you today.
Yeah, it was like Judy for Debo, and then like some other pieces like
Algier, DPJ, yeah.
A lot of players that I have in my home league involved in that trade, because I have Judy, I have Algier, I have Dylan, I have a lot of guys there. But anyways, Smith also somehow had face on him for like 20% or so of the snaps. Got lost. Lots of his receptions on them. Face on is so bad. Yeah, he's not very
also
good.
Can we talk about like what are the Colts doing? Like genuinely on that quarterback draw that basically won the game, the middle of the field parted like the Red Sea. Like there was nobody.
The mascot on that play was killing me.
Oh, when he was just like humping.
It's just like humping the air that Hurts starts doing it. I was fucking dying when I saw that.
So this is Dynasty. Got Mike Williams, Romeo Dubs, 2025 first. Good enough. It's probably both fair market value. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, like 2025 first. It's a long ways away, but like any kind of first round capital is enough to get you in the conversation for a Monra, and then you add in a guy like Mike Williams, who, I mean, I don't know if you're a contender or whatever the case is, but he should still be good going in for the next couple of years under contract attached to Justin Herbert. And Romeo Doubs showed something. I'm probably more likely to sell Romeo Doubs than buy him, but he's kind of a throw-in in this deal, so I don't mind that. I'm trying to sell Lenny in a 10-team or PPR. What is a reasonable price to sell him for? I'm not making the playoffs, dude. If you can get a 2 for him, he's off. Like, ideally, if they're not willing to give you their 2 this year, just go after their 2024 second, because Fournette, I don't know what's going to happen with him as far as like his contract is concerned in the offseason. I just expect them to roll with Rachaad White next year and probably cut bait with Fournette and probably add in like a, Israel Abaconda or something in the draft in the 4th round to go along with Rachaad White.
Yep. By the way, for the record, so the Lions going into the year, we knew they were in a clear tank, and we know going into the year that the Rams were going to try to be a contender. The Rams' current first-round pick is higher projected than the Lions' first-round pick is.
Yeah, I think if I'm Detroit, man, I'm going up for a quarterback.
Yeah, probably. You got to. Or if it's not available, because I think the first 2 picks are pretty set in. Because if the Texans and Panthers are picking 1-2, they are not trading.
They're going to take quarterbacks, yeah, for sure. To be fair, so Will Levis is the guy that everyone would probably peg to go to Detroit then, with Los Angeles' pick. Will Levis is not a complete prospect by any means, and
Absolutely not.
He's got tools, but there's a lot of work to do. But I mean, if you're going to get a quarterback in a situation to thrive, like Detroit's going to be a good landing spot for any quarterback that goes there.
I would just rather ride one more year of Goff and then go for Caleb Williams next year.
That would be awesome, but like they probably would be if they lost out and got Caleb, because you need the 101 to get Caleb Williams. Like,
yeah,
Dan Campbell's
and realistically, like a team might get offered 3 first-round picks for 101 and might not take it.
Yeah, like I don't think there's any. Detroit won't be bad enough next year to get Caleb Williams.
I agree.
I think you're talking about like, it would be ideal if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win the Super Bowl this year and then we go full Los Angeles Rams next year and we get Caleb Williams. That would be awesome.
Yep.
Tom Brady retires. We got, maybe we trade Mike Evans or something up. Actually, I'm never going to speak that blasphemy into the universe again, but like, you know what I mean? Like some moves like that. You let some guys walk in free agency and then you rebuild around Caleb Williams. That'd be pretty cool.
Speaking of Super Bowl, we might have a new NFC favorite after.
Oh God, dude! You beat a Mickey Mouse team 40-3.
Beat an 8-2 team by 37 on their own home field. Okay,
yeah,
you can't discredit that
the week before, man. It's still one win.
Okay,
could have beaten them 17-14. It counts for the same amount in the column.
At the end of the day, here, Philadelphia, fucking gear up your fucking jockstrap because we're gonna knock that shit off.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun division race for you guys, but
if the Cowboys play like they did,
one of the better teams in the NFC, but like you're not a Super Bowl favorite. I'd probably take 3 AFC teams before you.
NFC?
AFC.
Okay, the only 2 teams right now concretely are probably the Bills and the Chiefs.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
Outside of that, like no other team scares me apart from maybe like because San Francisco talent-wise has the roster to be able to compete.
Yeah.
But Jimmy Garoppolo has the bozo gene. So,
yeah, well, don't forget about Tampa Bay, dude. All we have to do is get in the dance.
Yeah, right.
Our defense is healthy. You say, yeah, right, man. Like first of all, we beat you already. Second of all,
week 1.
Our defense is healthy. Our offensive line will have Ryan Jensen back for the playoffs, presumably, at least from what I've read.
That's fine. You guys should beat the Eagles.
And if we have Hainsey left guard, Ryan Jensen center, Shaq Mason right guard, we're like once Jensen is back in the fold of that offensive line, it's again a top 5 unit in the NFL.
No, you guys should beat the Eagles in round 1.
Pretty much been missing from our offense this year.
You guys should beat the Eagles in round 1.
I don't think we would end up playing them just the way the seeding would work because we'd be a division winner and they'd be on a bye most likely.
No.
Or you think they're gonna be the 5 seed, but
we're 1 game back of them right now, and we're 2 games back. But if we beat them, we'd be 1. We just need them to lose 1 more game than us, other than the game against us,
right?
Rest of the season, and we would have a better divisional record, so we'd have the tiebreaker,
right? But we might not be the worst division winner. I think we got a pretty easy schedule down the stretch. We might be the 3 seed, and then in which case the Eagles would be
the 49ers though. The 49ers schedule was easy as heck. Like they might win 12, 13 games.
Worse than ours, isn't it? Right now,
isn't it? 5-4.
Oh, they 5-4. I thought they were 4-5. Okay, yeah, that's not bad. Are they like slam dunk going to win the NFC West? Even like the Seahawks could still win it.
Seahawks got a tough schedule comparatively.
Yeah.
Plus, I think they're just a better team.
Probably going to be like a Seahawks Bucks or like a 49ers Bucks type of first round kind of thing. I don't know. I think that's probably what we're looking for. I don't know. Maybe the Eagles are the 5 seed. Who knows?
Yeah. Got a super chat here quickly from
I
Bill.
hope we play you, to be honest. I would much rather play you guys than the Cowboys.
Now.
Or than
you just saw what that team looks like when it's clicking stop. It
is a pimple, and I tried to pop it before this live stream, and I didn't get it done. So it is just a red spot right now.
So I know we'll go back in order, but I just got to point this out. Alexander, tell him.
/ blemish.
Hey, tell him, Alexander. That's what we do out here. 1 catch for 15 yards in man coverage, baby.
I knew Danny was gonna be fucking insufferable on this live stream.
Oh, you wouldn't be after beating the 8-1 team on the road 40-3.
Let's not pretend like the Vikings were actually.
Let's not pretend like they're not a guaranteed playoff team either.
They're a guaranteed playoff team, but if you made a list of the best teams in the NFL, they're not even in the top 5.
Okay, they're probably in that 6 to 8 range.
Yeah. Okay. Sick.
That's still a fucking impressive win.
With you guys, you think you're the best team in the
19-3 is not 40-3. Stop it.
It's not, but you guys did nothing.
Not even close.
Entire game.
Yeah, when we have this
offense, shit on offense either, we still destroyed you.
And we have this offense that's averaging 36 points per game since Dak's been back, potentially adding Odell Beckham within the next 2 weeks. Yes.
Okay, whatever. Thoughts on Hawkinson for Dynasty going into the offseason with his role in the Vikings? Yeah, he's got 9 targets, I believe, in every single game that he's played with them so far. They threw a lot last week, so that's probably part of it. But yeah, he's definitely improved. They're using him more than Detroit did, which is, if you're going to draft a tight end in the top 10, you probably should scheme him plays pretty often. Whether he's worth that pick or not, you got to let him at least try and prove if he is or not.
He's just not a very good player. I'm not gonna lie.
I think he's a good player. He's an average tight end. Like if we're talking like Madden overalls or something, he's like an 84 overall type.
He's a worse Dalton Schultz.
I think he's a better player than Dalton Schultz.
No, he's not.
I think he is.
I saw him live. He does not threaten at all.
Like I saw Dalton Schultz live, and neither did he.
Fuck, if that guy gets two hands on that football, I don't know how you're a professional tight end and you don't know how to go up with two hands. Also, side note, I will quickly make this because we'll get speeding through, but there was a subsection of Cowboys Twitter, right, on that play. So it's a high-low concept, right? CeeDee Lamb's running a speed out, quick out. There's that, deep third defender, and they have Dalton Schultz running the corner behind him. And people are like, oh, why didn't Dak check it down? It's like, he is completely zoned in on that deep third defender. As soon as that guy jumped down on CeeDee, Dak is always throwing Dalton Schultz open in that regard because Harrison Smith has inside leverage, and that linebacker trailing Dalton Schultz is never going to get over the top. Places a beautiful ball. Dalton Schultz can't go up with two hands and make an easy catch. It was brutal to watch live. Or you can get into
did you see the Steve Young thing with Booger McFarland?
What happened?
So Booger said that that Zach Wilson, he's like not a good quarterback because he grew up with money, and like Steve Young was like, dude, that's like fully like a racist take that you just made. It's true, like he did grow up with money, and the people said that about Zach Wilson coming out of the draft. That's why he had like shitty attitude. I remember Walter Football said that, I think, in their like scouting report, that he was like a brat or whatever. But still, like he said that on TV. I was kind of surprised that I saw that, and Steve Young was like, dude, you can't say that. Like you don't know him. You don't know him at all. Like that's so weird that you said that. Anyways, need Debo and Connor to outscore Kittle. Yeah, you should be good there, man. Kittle's got capabilities to put up huge point scoring, but Connor's pretty much automatic in the red zone. He's probably going to score. I have a bet tonight with him as an anytime touchdown scorer, and then I think I also have Kittle's 50+ alt receiving line, and then Christian McCaffrey rushing for, I think his over under was 58.5 or 62.5 or something like that. And I was like, that seems like a pretty, I need an easier parlay than the ones I've been putting up, because Kadarius Toney screwed the one that I put up last night. Did I tell you what I did?
What?
I did Travis Kelce to score 2 touchdowns, which happened, by the way. Then it was the what was the other one? Oh, the Chiefs money line. And then there was Isaiah Pacheco to rush for 60+ rushing yards, which
got 107.
And then Kadarius Toney to receive 60+, but he didn't catch anything, so he screwed it.
That was one of the
payout of $20 bet.
That was one of the more fascinating things I've probably ever seen. Like, you had a guy who looked fantastic in limited snaps last week, suffered 2 injuries at the receiver position this week. You're expecting a bigger workload, and you're trotting out fucking Justin Watson. Like, be real. Kansas City, be real,
fucking
man.
You're great, Justin Watson?
Like, what in the world? Is that the same Justin Watson? Player, man. Is that the same player that made a nice catch against the fucking Lions like 3 years ago in like week 17?
Yeah, probably.
I want to say he went like 5 for 7 in that game.
It was during the fantasy championship, wasn't it?
Because I had Brashad Perriman starting on my team. He balled out. And then fucking my opponent had Justin Watson. I remember that.
Rom, what's up, fellas? Need James Conner to score more than 8 points tonight. Plus opponent's defense, Arizona. Wish me luck. Also, rip Melvin Gordon. Yeah, I mean, Conner could be just fine there. And I think Arizona might get blown out.
Yep. No, I agree.
But Monday night's always tricky, man. I feel like I'm expecting Arizona to get blown out, which means it's going to be a close game.
Yeah, probably.
Are we concerned about Swift long term? What are your thoughts? Swift in Dynasty, you concerned?
A little bit.
He presents more risk now than he did before, for sure. And typically, I don't like investing it. Like, I would rather just re-roll Swift into a rookie running back if I could.
I don't think he has the intangibles to be a full-time runner. Like, I don't know how to describe it. He has one of the worst vision I've ever seen from like a player of that talent.
That was my problem with him in college, which is why he was my RB4.
Like, his vision's atrocious. There's been multiple plays in the last 2 years where he can just, follow his blocks, get fucking 30, 40, 50 plus, maybe even score on plays. And instead, this guy tries to cut it across field and make somebody miss and gain like 8 yards. It's like, yeah, cool. You gained 8 yards on that play. However, 40, 50 was the opportunity cost you left to do so.
Yeah,
It's
I know.
unbelievable.
Like that was between him. Like I remember in 2020, him and Dobbins was like a conversation point for me, and I was like, Dobbins is way more decisive when you watch them play. He just has instinct way better. And I believe I had Clyde higher than Swift too coming out that year.
Oh, God.
Akers 5, Dylan was 6, and Gibson was 7. I believe is how I had them ranked. With Swift at 4 and Taylor at 1, obviously. But
got a super chat here from Jay Ward. Big Ward, little cash out here. He just...
Okay, so the joke in my league is that Tony's popping every time Tony pops up because the one guy in my league traded traded away Chris Godwin for Kadarius Toney back in like week 3, week 4 when Chris Godwin was dealing with the injury, and everyone was like, dude, you're fucking high. Like, why are you making that trade? So now anytime Kadarius Toney does nothing, we always are like, yo, Tony's popping or whatever. And then he actually had one good game. We're like, wait, he's actually popping now. And then he was useless this week. So I'm trying to get Kelsey to finish my team. Would you guys do AJ Brown, Pierce, and Kittle for Kelsey and Olave? That's steep, man. I'm cool. I'm cool just holding Kittle, man. Kittle will be just fine.
Yeah, I probably.
I know Kelsey's like a fucking monster, but like that's too much to give up for him.
Yep, agreed.
Also, if I could go back in time, instead of taking Alvin Kamara and Dalvin Cook with the intention of trading him in my home league, I would have drafted fucking Stephon Diggs and Travis Kelsey because that's what I passed on.
Oh,
I thought Diggs was going to fall back to me in my defense. That's why I took Kamara first. But I'm not doing that next year. Next year, I'm literally just going to pick the player that I have rated higher.
Yep.
Oh my God, Bush, what happened? I'm sure you talked about it. I read that in the guy's voice. Hope you are okay.
What happened?
What happened? Are you talking Zach Wilson, maybe? I think this is what he's referring to, maybe. Yeah. I'm not okay. Zach Wilson's probably he's looking like a bad quarterback.
Dude, he's atrocious. Like,
you're not going to find people that are going to defend Zach Wilson more than me and Danny, but it's time to pull the cord. He's probably headed for Mitch Trubisky, Drew Lock, Sam Darnold territory.
If that, he might be the next starting quarterback for the Hamilton Tiger Cats within a year and a half.
I think he belongs as a backup somewhere. I would love to have him in Tampa behind.
Do you really want to back up
back next year? I'd like to have him behind Brady. See if he's got something.
But do you really want your backup quarterback to have the mental processor of a taco?
Well, I mean, he's a young player. He can learn behind a quarterback like Brady. I know that's like such a cliche thing is like, oh, get a quarterback behind a veteran like Tom Brady and he'll become a better quarterback. But I mean, maybe it would work. I don't know. Who knows? I still like the player. I still like what I saw from him at BYU and some of the limited big plays that he's made in New York so far. But like the lowlights are way too bad for the kid. Like you can't have lowlights like Zach Wilson has lowlights right now because it's one thing to have, flashes and be like a highlights player. If you have flashes and then you're steady Eddie all the time, then that makes you a quarterback that people are willing to invest in. But when you have lowlights and your highlights are becoming more and more scarce, that's a problem. And you're probably not going to last in the NFL very long playing like that.
The problem is, when's the last time he's had a highlight this year?
The first drive of the Patriots game that he played.
Well, and what?
Not the Patriots game. I tweeted out this is the best game of Zach Wilson's career. Yeah, it was the first Patriots game. Oh. The first drive of the Patriots game, the first time they played, I was like, yo, this is gonna be the best game of Zach Wilson's career because he looked unbelievable on the first drive, and he made like some very high degree of difficulty throws, which he can absolutely do. He just when he gets pressured, man, he folds. He doesn't know what to do. And it's surprising to me because I thought he was pretty good against pressure in college, but I guess the issue is that BYU's offensive line was so good. He didn't face pressure very often, and he wasn't rattled as a result of that. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe, he's just good against pressure. In reality, he was well protected most of the time and didn't face pressure a lot.
The Jets beat the Rams in week 15 of 2020.
Yeah, I know. I saw it. They could have had Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence would be a much better quarterback if he was a New York Jet. Yes. And I stand by that. If he didn't have that Urban Meyer experience the first year of his career, if he had a team building around him, and not that the Jags haven't done anything around him, but if they had drafted Trevor Lawrence that year, then he would be a much better quarterback today, I think. I think we'd be talking about a guy in the at least Justin Fields territory, if not Justin Herbert territory.
Wilson? Or
No,
Lawrence.
If Lawrence
Okay.
had went to the Jets.
Yeah, probably fair. Got the $10 super chat here from Scott. Appreciate that. He says Christian Watson top 20 played rest of the way. I'm dying with DJ Moore's Mars 3 want to stop playing him. I would say top 24 to 30 is like conservative, but I mean, it wouldn't shock me if he became a top 20 play. Like he's looked phenomenal these last 2 weeks. He's commanded Aaron Rodgers' trust, and I mean, he looks like the best receiver on the field for the Packers. Period. So
yeah, it's hard to say that like he's gonna not be more productive. Like maybe he's not catching touchdowns every single week, but is it gonna get him more targets? Probably. Like they're probably gonna scheme him up more jet sweeps like they were doing at the beginning of the year. They're probably gonna get him involved in more like screen passes and stuff. He's not gonna win on his routes like consistently. I don't think that's just in his repertoire yet. He's probably got to develop more. But he does have the big play ability, the touchdown scoring ability, and some of the scheme touches. So I think, yeah, top 24 to 30 play. He's got a more trustworthy quarterback situation right now with Aaron Rodgers versus probably Sam Darnold this week. I'd imagine they're going to turn away from Baker Mayfield.
Yep. By the way, I just want to quickly bring this up. I know I say that a lot, but since he's returned from injury, weeks 4 to 11 is the stretch. Dak Prescott has the second highest EPA amongst quarterbacks and the second highest completion percentage over expectation amongst quarterbacks. The only quarterback that is outproducing him in both is Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah. Sure. Tanny just pumping up his Cowboys unprovoked. Got Pittman for a 2023 and 2024 second. Yeah, 2-2 for Pittman. Good. Yeah, good move there for sure. Hendon Hooker recently tore his ACL. Does that affect his draft spot and real in a dynasty? Absolutely. Yeah. Quarterback draft capital is the difference between
the most predictive stat
caliber. It is the most important input for their profile. I talked about it. If the NFL will not draft Hendon Hooker as a first round quarterback anymore, that means that Hendon Hooker is probably not a guy that you're going to take until like the third round of a rookie draft, because he already wasn't that good of a prospect to begin with because he's like 24 years old. So if he's going to go, mid day 2 because an NFL team's like, he's intriguing, but he doesn't have the investment of a first round capital pick, then he's probably not going to be a guy that I'm overly investing in unless he's, available in the late second, early third round of rookie drafts.
Agree with that. Got a super chat here from Aggie. Down 50, have D-Hop, CMC, and McBride. I think I have a shot. Well, I mean, you're expecting probably about 15 to 20 from both Hopkins and McCaffrey. So
I'd say scoring format kind of matters here too. If this is full PPR,
I think you got it.
Hopkins is a 20-point projection as is CMC if this is full PPR. So I think you should be okay. But you probably still need like McBride to catch a touchdown, or something like that, or a monster game out of either of the studs.
Agree with that. Yeah, no, I think you got about like probably a 50% chance is an even call, give or take, if that's half or full PPR.
Yeah. Do I get rid of Swift for whatever I can? I got Jamal. I'm probably just going to hold him at this point, man. Like, when you say for whatever I can, that makes me think you're getting nothing for him. Like, if you can get Garrett Wilson for him, I think that's fine. But like, if you're not getting in shit all for him, then I would say just hold the guy. It's not gonna kill you for sure.
Yep.
If y'all are asking about the 2023 draft class, watch the FSC boys' new video today. Yes, appreciate the shout out there. Traded Fields for Kyler. Injury worries me. Plus, I got Watson on the bench. Was it smart to move him now? I mean, the injury shouldn't worry you for Fields because it's less severe than Kyler's injury starters.
Well, actually, it was actually gone on. I thought this was Dynasty for a second. If it's redraft, I'm fine with this move. It's actually gone on record for saying that apparently Eberflus said quite literally, he's either day to day or we'll shut him down. There's like, what is that analysis of a guy's injury?
That fucking sucks for me in the Listener Dynasty League, man. If he's out, like I'm gonna be screwed. I'm not gonna win. There's no way I'm winning without Fields.
I know an easy transition if you're willing to pay a little price.
I told you I'll do it 1 for 1.
I'm not doing it 1 for 1, especially now that I have all the leverage. Come on, don't be silly.
It's not a hippie dynasty take anymore. It's consensus, man. Like he went ahead of Watson in my start.
And that's fine, but the production value for you as a contender does mean something.
Right.
And I understand that.
The absolute most I'd be willing to give you is to Caden second. You give me a third.
I'm not giving you a third. I'll take the second.
Yeah. We'll see how bad the injury is. Yeah. We might be willing to talk. When is our trade deadline? Is it this week?
There is none.
Oh,
actually, wait. In that league, there might be one. I know in the Tone Setter Truthers there isn't.
To be honest, I don't think there should be a trade deadline.
I agree. There shouldn't be at all.
I think even if you were in the playoffs, you should be able to trade.
Well, the whole point of Dynasty is to eliminate as much.
Maybe you shut them down during the playoffs, but that would be the only way I would shut it down.
The whole point of Dynasty is to eliminate as much variance as possible. And by making no trade deadline, you're eliminating as much variance as possible. Because if the top contender loses, let's say Josh Allen gets hurt in week 15 when somebody's on bye, that completely throws the dynamic of that league. Right. At least if there's, a potential transition, say a non-playoff team has Lamar Jackson, and that would make a lot of sense. Or say another team has, like Jalen Hurts or Kyler Murray. Like,
or if a team just has fucking, I don't know, Trey Lance, or not Trey Lance.
No,
I don't know why I'm talking about Trey Lance, but like a quarterback that they
Dak
could trade.
Plus. Yeah,
like a trade down from if they wanted to. Yeah, that would make some sense for sure. I'm down by 9 points. Which two do I play of the three? Debo, James Conner, Rondale Moore. Half PPR. You're sitting Rondale here.
Yeah, first two. Good luck in your matchup, brother.
Yep. Swift for Sanders, full PPR, or
give me Mike Evans.
Yeah, give me Mike Evans for sure. Yeah, I don't mind Sanders, but I would probably rather have him over Swift at this point in time, just given what I've seen out of Swift. But I would rather have Mike Evans than both. Also, happy Debo Samuel week. He's going off this week.
I just traded for him. Traded for him.
The guy touches the ball 10 times a game, and like 70% of those touches are targets. Like I really don't understand why people are so down on the dude.
I'm sure you have, because I think you did the video, but have you seen his end of the season schedule?
Yeah, it's super easy.
Man,
the guy's 3 touchdowns compared to 14 like he had last year. That's the difference in why he's not been as good.
Yep, agreed.
Traded Hardman and Gordon for Rashad White and a 2024 third. The next day, Hardman went on IR. Now Gordon got waived. Perfect timing. Jeez. Rashad White, man, you can make the argument he's a top 15 dynasty running back, dude. Like, I don't think he's quite there yet, but he's talented. He's got third-round draft capital and a 28-year-old almost starter in front of him who's, on the outs with the team at the moment. It's possible that he's a starting running back next year.
Yep, agreed.
But are we scared about Bart? What's up?
Speaking of that, why is there so much hype now about Tampa Bay taking Bijan? That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, it makes no sense.
I would fucking love that, though. I'm not even going to, part of me would be like, why are you spending a first-round pick on a running back? But I'm like, okay, I'm excited. You know what I mean?
But, if you're going to draft any running back.
Lamb, you were like, we didn't really need a wide receiver at the time, but, I'm excited.
But, if you're going to draft any type of running back, why don't you draft, a big physical grinder to take the Fournette role from him, because Fournette stinks? Why don't you take, I don't know, Zach Charbonnet round 3?
Yeah, there's just zero reason to draft a running back outside of inside the top 40 overall picks. The running back sweet spot is the end of the second round. Which is where.
However, I would take Bijan on Dallas if we do lose Pollard. We need that.
I think Dallas is going to be the one that does it. I think Zeke's going to get cut and Pollard's going to be on free agency.
Yeah, probably.
I think the Cowboys are going to be the one that takes Bijan.
I think it's very possible. If they don't take Bijan, I think your next best bet is you need to add a young cornerback to that room.
Yeah, your second corner position is so gross.
Might I have a proposition? Okay, the Rams are what, 3-8 right now.
Wait, you want Jalen Ramsey?
I was just gonna say the Cowboys have a lot of cap space. The Rams need to rebuild. If the Cowboys said, "Hey, LA, you need picks, you need to rebuild this thing," Stafford's probably gonna retire. McVay's gonna follow him. I was going to say probably a 1 and 2.
They won't take less than 2 1s, knowing them.
Maybe. But
they also don't. They say fuck them picks, bro. They're gonna trade more picks away.
But
also, we're literally gonna mention this every day for the next 2 years. But why didn't the Panthers take that trade? I'm still so confused.
2 top 5 picks.
Yeah, 2 top 5 picks for Brian Burns. I love Brian Burns, man, but you're fucking trolling. But
imagine that turns into Caleb Williams and fucking
Imagine if that's Caleb Williams that they didn't take that trade for Brian Burns. Are we scared about Barkley? No, not at all.
Not at all.
Traded Barkley and Keenan for Tyreek and Montgomery.
Yes, all day.
Yeah, give me that. Yeah, give me the Tyreek and Montgomery side. Keenan's a little sketchy right now, and then Tyreek and Barkley's
I would take Tyreek.
Poison. Yeah, I would take Tyreek also, but it's an elite running back for an elite wide receiver. Sure. It's an even trade. Why wasn't Zaire Franklin spying Hurts on that play like he had all game? Yeah, big facts. Are we concerned about DJ Moore, Deontay, and Debo in Dynasty?
Not really. Deontay more than anything.
He has a rating out of 10. Who are you? Let's just go. DJ Moore, 1 to 10. 1 being you're not worried, 10 being you're very worried.
I would only be at a 2 or the 3 because I think it's almost a guarantee that they're going to get one of the quarterbacks this year.
That's fair. Yeah, I think of these options, he's probably my least worried. I don't know, man, because
Debo next.
Debo is really just a really good fucking player, man. And I
Yeah.
tend to just not worry about those types of players in Dynasty in general.
Agreed.
And also Deontay's quite a good player also. I know he's kind of, annoying because Matt Canada runs 2-yard out routes every single play, but Deontay Johnson, like reception perception, like 100 percentile separator. Like if they actually had a non-cringe scheme in Pittsburgh with a quarterback who wasn't dog shit, then he'd be a legit alpha wide receiver. Like how much better or how high is his dynasty value if he's a Green Bay Packer right now? If they before the season started, when he was holding out, if they had traded him to Green Bay, how high is his dynasty value right now? How good of a season would Deontay Johnson have had with Aaron Rodgers?
I mean, he's probably still like, because right now he's like a low end, like in that wide receiver 24 to 30 range, I would say.
I think we're talking at least a top 15 wide receiver. Right
That's
now.
what I was gonna say. Probably top 15 is the sweet spot, because I mean, you're still not taking him over Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs,
no,
guys
but
like
I think
that.
we're talking about a guy that could be like wide receiver 7 right now in points per game.
Yeah,
if he was playing with a decent. It's a combination of things in Pittsburgh, man. It's all of the. It's not George Pickens. I'm not scared of George Pickens for Deontay Johnson because they play different roles, and most teams have multiple wide receivers anyway. I'm like Matt Canada is a huge fucking problem, as is Kenny Pickett, who's a rookie quarterback. He might improve, but he's not going to get very much better in the scheme that he's playing right now.
I think that wide receiver 16 or 17 is probably the sweet spot, depending, because I have Olave at 16 right now. You can make the argument that, like, if he was on Green Bay and he was popping off, probably both ways. I would probably still slightly
take Olave regardless.
Agreed. But like after that, then you get like Michael Pittman, Marquise Brown, Devontae Smith. I would.
Yeah, if he was performing at a high level, he'd probably clear those guys for sure.
Yeah, agreed.
But overall, like I think all these guys are relative buys in Dynasty because they're all. I know one thing for sure about them, which is all I need to know about why
players.
They're good players. Like they can produce when the situation is good. Right, DJ Moore, we got half decent quarterback play from PJ Walker for a couple games. What happened? He was suddenly very fantasy relevant.
Yeah, go figure, eh?
Still that the D held him to 17. The Colts offense lost that game for us. That's probably the story of your season. One of my best cashes ever yesterday. Pats minus 3.5. Man, I had the Jets plus 3.5 in one of my parlays, so you hate to see it. I'm down 43 points. I need Hopkins, 49ers defense, and Robbie Gould to combine me for 43 or more tonight. My opponent has Trey McBride. What are my odds?
Oh, that's gonna be tough.
That's gonna be really tough, man. You're gonna need a monster game in a DeAndre Hopkins.
Yep, agreed.
Do I trade Monty, Pickens, and Olave for Jefferson?
If you have the depth, absolutely.
Yeah, man. Having a roster with Saquon, Tyreek, and Jettas is just it's insane.
Yep.
The like value over replacement, like we talked about last live stream, is just it's too crazy on that. Trade Swift or Pierce for Aaron Jones PPR. Yeah, if you can trade Swift for him, do it.
Yeah, agreed.
I never thought I'd say that, by the way.
Gross.
We don't lose that if Leonard is playing. Yeah, that's probably true. Justin Jefferson or AJ Brown rest of the season. Jefferson. He's probably still a tier ahead for me.
Yeah, without a doubt. Not even close for me.
12 teams Superflex rebuilding this year, ready for next. Give 201, 202, and a mid-second get DK. So
yeah, I would. I mean, like realistically, that's what Blake Corum, Kendre Miller, and a mid-second next year, I guess.
I mean,
like,
that's
it's fair
in a rebuild, man. Like, I don't mind just holding the picks. I know DK is definitely worth that package. Don't get me wrong, but
it's just I think you can get future first-round capital out of DK,
right? But you might be able to get future first-round capital out of the 201 during the rookie draft.
I don't know, but he's going to give you a 2024
It's a good class. And then the 201, 202 are going to be some good prospects that have high draft capital, have good profiles, that probably tested well at the combine, that everybody's excited about.
I want DK.
I'm fine with that. I think this is probably a win-win trade for both sides.
Yeah. I want first-round capital if I'm selling DK. I
That's
can't
fair,
do it
but you got borderline first-round players that you're going to get at 201 and 202.
Fair, but I mean, I'm looking at the market value.
That's fair. DST, Cowboys or Commanders, Miami or Patriots.
Cowboys.
Yeah,
the Cowboys are going to eat. The Cowboys are going to eat. The Cowboys may eat the Giants' offensive line alive. The last time they played without Dak Prescott, keep in mind, with Cooper Rush keeping the game semi-realistic in terms of not being a heavy pass game script, I want to say the Cowboys' defense had like 30 pressures on fucking Daniel Jones in that game. You can't make that up. I think Micah himself had like 7 or 8. Like, it was ridiculous.
Yeah. Cowboys going supersonic. Let's see it. You think Hopkins is worth a mid-second at this point? Yeah, I'd be more than comfortable giving up a mid-second for Hopkins. What's up, fellas? Cheers. Maher got me 22 points. Did Maher actually 22 points?
Dude, he ate. He had like two 60+ yard field goals, 2 50+ yard field goals in that game.
Yikes.
Dude, you
That's
saw
why
the
kickers need to be abolished realistically. Like, you get 22 points out of a kicker. That's ridiculous.
You saw the Dak to Lamb play at the end of the half, and then fucking Maher just makes a 60-yard field goal casually after it. Former Hamilton Tiger Cat great.
Yeah. I think I made a bad move by trading Freiermuth for Garrett Wilson when my wide receivers were already Higgins, St. Brown, Keenan, DPJ, and Garrett Wilson. When Schultz looks like he's in a red
off the touchdown.
I mean, Schultz versus Freiermuth rest of the season's realistically a conversation. Freiermuth had 12 targets this past week. He always is going to get a lot of targets. Him and Pickett seem to have a good rapport, but I think the price on Garrett Wilson just went up if Zach Wilson gets benched, because if Joe Flacco is the quarterback, Garrett Wilson could be legitimately a top 10 wide receiver the rest of the season.
Also, Dalton Schultz dropped a touchdown in that game. Like, quite literally point blank dropped it. Like, if he doesn't do that, then you're not even, like, worried at all right now.
I disagree. I think of the teams in the NFC that could handle Micah Parsons in the pass rush, I think the Bucs are one of the few teams that, because we have good tackles, we could probably do it better than most.
Micah is going to put
Micah's going to eat against every team, but he's going to eat against every team. I'm just saying we have one of the better tackle duos in the NFC.
But the thing too is that the Cowboys have legitimately like 5 defensive ends deep, and on third down packages, like good luck getting like Luke Gadecki and stuff on them.
Your defense played well against us the first time we played, but it didn't seem to matter.
It's a completely different animal. I'm telling you right now, like what it's developed into. Like, because the young guys are developing. Like, even like Dante Fowler's not young, but he's played a lot better. Dorrance Armstrong's been fantastic.
I'm talking about our defense suffocating you.
Oh, our offensive line has grown dramatically, and we're going to have Tyron Smith back by then.
Sure, but our corners ate you guys for lunch last time.
And we're going to add Odell Beckham, and we're going to add Odell Beckham, and CeeDee Lamb had the worst game of his career in that game.
I'm telling you, dude, when healthy, when all the 5 starting secondary players are on the field for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, there's not a better secondary in the NFL.
I'll take us. I think that, like, if we're at home, or depends, like, who's going to be at home in that game. I think you guys would.
Oh, did they actually not throw a flag there? They just, like, literally
like neutral side, I think the Cowboys are going to get 4 points.
I mean, Donovan Smith left the first game early, too, by the way, that we played against them. And he gave up a sack to Micah in the red zone, but that was the only thing that Micah did before Donovan Smith left. And then he started eating on our backup tackle. But anyways, the game has already started. Apologies, we did not get through all of the questions here, but definitely appreciate you guys for tuning in. Like I said, if you play Dynasty, if your 2023 picks got them locked and loaded, definitely go check out the video I dropped earlier today. Danny should be coming at you with waivers and streamers tomorrow. Probably won't do many more weeks of waivers and streamers just for what it's worth, because we're getting into the playoff weeks. Probably this or next, maybe the last week coming up. But
I'll say probably after bye weeks are done is when the streamers are probably going to be done, because realistically by that point, everybody, like, you're going to have everybody off of bye. Like, and I mean, at waivers, I guess we could just like
waivers lock for playoffs, don't they?
That's what I'm saying. Like, or like at least like if they don't, we can mention them on like live streams and stuff. Because realistically, by that point, like you're gonna know who's the waiver. Oh, if Saquon Barkley goes down, Matt Breida, you know what I mean? Like you're gonna know it. It's gonna be really obvious at that point.
Right. And this week, again, like I said, most people's trade deadlines have already happened, so I'm not covering trade targets anymore. What I'm going to cover this week is the video that I did last year, which was ranking the handcuffs, like in case of injury, right? Because, you know, we know Paul Madison and those guys, but the other guys is what we want to know about, the guys that we can stash at the end of our benches. And one of them is a guy that I hope you guys rostered maybe going into tonight with Keontae Ingram.
I already have him in a couple leagues.
Because they caught Eno Benjamin, and we saw what Eno Benjamin was doing in James Conner's absence, and Keontae Ingram showed that he could play when he got opportunities. So anyways, we're going to head off here. Like I said, check all that stuff out. Take it easy.
Take it easy.